Hey guys, you guys looking to learn how to improve your pull-ups? Yeah, well, you've come to the right place. Okay. I may have been cheating. Now I can do chin-ups, but my camera doesn't go high enough to make that intro, so. Welcome to the show. So before we get into it, let me give you a quick overview of what we're going to be covering today. We're going to be covering what is a pull-up, other variations of a pull-up that either digress or progress the movement and also complement the movement. In this video, we're going to be covering the overhand wide grip pull-up. I'll be showing you a quick warm-up that you can do before you get started. We'll be diving into the anatomy, so which muscles are the primary drivers of the movement. I'll be discussing some tips and tricks and drills that can help improve your pull-up or variations that you're working with. So without further ado, let's dive in. Ooh, guys, just one thing before we get into it. Can I please ask, if you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. But if you have, you're an absolute legend. You could probably share this video with somebody who you know is working on improving their lat pull down, working on improving their chin up or pull up, and or maybe they just need to work on building a bigger and stronger back, or perhaps they're looking to improve their posture. These people could really benefit from this video as well, so share the love and help out the channel. Thank you, and let's get into it. So, first thing, what is a pull-up? I class the pull-up as a vertical pull because, referring back to anatomical position, which is where we stand upright, palms and eyes forward, we are moving on a vertical plane relative to anatomical position. Just like the push-up is a horizontal push, as I discussed in previous videos. A pull-up is an overhand grip and a chin-up is an underhand grip. They do shift the focus of the muscles that we're going to be targeting the most. So the pull-up is going to be a little bit more lat dominant. Lat is the shortened version of latissimus dorsi, one of the really big pulling muscles in our back. So if you can't quite do a chin-up yet or a pull-up, then maybe if you have access to a gym which has an assisted chin-up machine, that would be the perfect tool to be using to progress towards doing a pull-up. The other thing you can do is manipulate your tempo and work on one phase. So maybe you jump up to the bar and lower yourself down, like I discussed in yesterday's video. The lengthening muscle contraction is 150% stronger than the shortening muscle contraction, which means you may not be able to pull yourself up, but you may have enough strength to lower yourself down. And with a bit of training, that will strengthen your ability to pull yourself up. Some other machines or variations that you may go for, which are the same movement essentially, a vertical pull. You may want to use cable lat pull down, a machine lat pull down, a plate loaded lat pull down. Whether you do an overhand wide grip or a neutral grip or an underhand grip, those variations are going to be up to you. What provides the most comfort, what provides the best technique, and what's in line with your goals of muscle development or movement progression. A nice sufficient warm-up before going into resistance training. So when I say quick warm-up, let me sum that up. It's going to take anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes. If you really want to be thorough, it could even take 30 minutes for a warm-up. So some people that say they can do an entire workout in 30 minutes, it's not always going to be very thorough, and it probably almost definitely doesn't include a warm-up. It's going to include 4 key components, potentially 3, depending on your skill set and knowledge and experience. The first thing we're going to be doing is increasing our body temperature. And I normally recommend people do their favorite piece of cardio equipment to increase their body temperature, whether it be the treadmill, the cross trainer, the Stairmaster, skipping, rowing, jogging on the spot. You could run up and down the AstroTurf athletic track if you have one. The world is your oyster. I want you to increase your body temperature so that you're warm, and then we can move on to the next stage of the warm-up. The next stage of the warm-up would be our dynamic stretching. So we have 2 kinds of stretches, dynamic and static. Now, static stretching is the one that most people are familiar with. It's what we're taught in PE in high school. The one where after our workout we hold the stretch for 30 seconds before moving on to the other muscle or stretching or whatever. So dynamic stretching is what we see the AFL players doing, or the swimmers before they jump into the pool in the Olympics. It's this stuff. It's dynamic, it's movement. So moving our limbs through full range of motion. And there are two key benefits to doing dynamic stretching. The first benefit I'll mention is that the muscles are being put through a large range of motion so that they're stretching within a functional range of motion. And the other key benefit is the joints are going to be lubricated with the synovial fluid. So moving that joint through that full range of motion is going to create friction, and that friction is going to increase the temperature of the fluid, and that's going to make the fluid thinner, and it's going to etch its way to all of the nooks and crannies of the joint and perform its job lubricating the joint better. And that synovial fluid also has nourishing properties, which means it's going to be optimal for ideal joint health. Now, when doing dynamic stretching, probably do 10 to 15 circles, revolutions, one way before going the other. Check your surroundings, make sure you're not going to smash your knuckles into someone or something. That's always a good idea. The third stage of our warm-up is going to be, if you have the skill set to perform this, trigger point therapy or self-massage, foam rolling, whatever you want to call it. But basically, jump on a foam roller or grab yourself a spiky ball or a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball wrapped in electrical tape, and you're going to work into the muscles that might have knots or are tight and release any soft tissue that needs to be released to better improve your performance. Now, if you don't have those skills for foam rolling and trigger point therapy, we are working on those resources on our website. They're not up yet, but down the line, check it out. I'll drop a link in the description below to our website. It's in development, but the content is coming, and we're going to be having more premium quality content on that site where you can have a membership so you can access these things, and the videos are going to be more polished as well than these ones that I'm putting on YouTube too. Moving on, the fourth stage we're going to be doing is activation. You may actually already be doing this without realizing. It's where you perform lighter versions of the same movement before going into your maximum weight. So before doing body weight pull-ups, you might do an overhand lat pull down, whether it be cable or plate loaded or pin loaded, that's up to you. Now, in my situation, I don't have that with me. So what I'm gonna do is just show you how I've set a band up top, and I can grab onto this band and I can get the muscles switched on in the same movement as what I'm going to be performing when I do a pull-up. If you can't think of a way or have access to a way to do activation with a vertical pull before doing a vertical pull primary exercise, then you might even do a horizontal pull where you might tip forward at the hips and do a cable row or a dumbbell row. Get creative if you have to. Just make sure that your movement is correct. Now, let's talk about anatomy. I'm going to be talking about the primary movers, but there are plenty of other muscles that assist while doing this. The three primary movers when we do a pull-up is going to be the biceps, the back of the shoulder, so the rear deltoid, and the latissimus dorsi muscle. And when I do some demonstration pull-ups, I'm gonna take my shirt off and I'll do a freeze frame and draw some muscles on myself so you get a better illustration with some labels for you to see too. Now, there's a few drills and tips that I could give you to improve your technique. I'm just gonna take you over to the wall here and show you one of my favorite ones to make sure that your shoulder blades are in the correct position whilst your arms are moving in correct alignment. Keeping the upper back against the wall, elbows and wrists, slide your arms up the wall within pain-free, reasonably comfortable range, and then back down to around mouth height. That's the movement we want to try to emulate while we're actually shifting the weight. But obviously, if there's a bar in the way, you need to navigate your head and chin around that bar. Now, some machines like plate-loaded and pin-loaded lat pull-down machines, they've got handles on either side with nothing in the middle, so you can keep that correct alignment like on the wall drill without hitting yourself in the head. However, if you jump into a lat pull down with a bar that's all the way through, or you jump onto a straight bar to do a pull up or a chin up on, you're gonna have to navigate around the bar. So your movement and your biomechanics are going to change a little bit. That's okay, just keep that in mind and try to do your best to not let the shoulders drop forward and roll in, because we don't wanna be doing that with the shoulders while pulling up, because it's gonna mean that we're trying to pull ourselves up with anterior muscles. So muscles across the front of the body instead of the muscles on our back, the posterior chain, which is the correct approach. So if you haven't quite got the strength yet to do a body weight pull-up or chin-up, and you don't have access to a lat pull down to develop the strength or a assisted chin-up machine, then you may want to invest in some power bands, and you can do assisted chin-ups. With a power band, you can just loop it around to a fixed point, put your knee in there, or if you really need extra assistance, you can put your foot in there and then go ahead and do your chin-ups. I'll just quickly show you what that looks like. So we're gonna finish up with me doing some chin-ups. I'm gonna have my back to the camera so that you can see my back and bring you guys a little bit closer. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you like what you're seeing, and drop a comment down below letting me know what you like about this video, but also what you'd like to see from more videos in the future. Check out the links in the description. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm gonna do some chin-ups for you. All right, so let's take a look at these pull-ups. Thank you so much for watching the entire video, and I really hope that you got value from it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. I'm going to put a button here for future subscribers to click, nice and easy for you, and also some suggested videos if you'd like to check out other content that I've made. Don't forget to smash that like button, drop a comment down below, and share this with somebody that you know that needs to develop back muscles. See you guys in the next one.